Action.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show this week. During the course of this series, I've posed one similar question to a bunch of different artists regarding Pitchfork and the power they hold. We've got, among many others, Mac Demarco, Dirty Beaches, some really exclusive unaired footage that I've never used before, King Buzzo from the Melvins. He reveals what he thinks is a little vendetta behind the rating system with the Melvins music. This is episode 133 of In It to Spin It, talking about Pitchfork. You got time for one more, or do you want to? Yeah. Okay.
Whatever you want.
Do you know the website Pitchfork at all?
I know of it. I've seen it a little.
You guys have been rated on there.
Yeah, they never really like our stuff.
I saw that. So that leads me into the question. I think it's a pretty powerful website for. They stamp music with this thing called Best New Music, and instantly overnight, no matter what the music is, it's basically a meal ticket. Thousands of people are going to want to listen to your music. What do you think of that sort of entity in today's day and age with music, just having the power to say to thousands of kids, like, listen to this? Like, do you think that's positive, or?
I don't know how that's any different than it's ever been. I mean, radio
like
did the same thing.
Magazines, just the reach.
Radio did the same thing.
Yeah, I
MTV
guess.
did the same thing.
Yeah.
If you took any of our songs that were even semi commercial sounding,
Yeah.
and played it thousands of times on the radio and MTV, people would buy it.
Yeah. Just the repetition gets ingrained in the
That's how it works.
subconscious. Yeah.
And you know, the thing with Pitchfork is the story we heard is that the editor, it was just an editor down there who doesn't like our stuff.
Yeah.
And no matter what the review is, he gives it a shitty
Score. Well, it's not.
He sees to it.
You guys aren't
That's the case.
shitty. It's like
No.
7.2, I believe.
But you never
was the
go. But
highest,
then you look
they're
at like what
lower.
they give high scores to, and you're
Yeah.
like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
You know, it's all because he's got a bug up his butt about us for some reason.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with music.
Yeah.
So I've dealt with that my entire career
Mhm.
with people.
Okay.
You know what will happen is that I'll wait, and assholes will always leave.
Yeah.
That's what always happens.
Yeah. No, that's an outlook I've shared in certain
All you have
jobs
to do is
as
hold
well.
it, just play it cool.
And just wait it
They'll
out.
be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like that in every business too.
Every
Regime
business.
changes. Yeah.
Apple will go, you know,
Yeah.
Walmart will go. I mean, there used to be big business. All you have to do is just wait.
Yeah. That's
Just
a
wait.
good.
Wait it
That's
out.
a good tip.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know?
Well.
So you know they'll get tired of what they're doing, and people
Yeah.
will lose interest in it, or they'll blow it somehow.
Or something.
We
new
don't have to do a
coming along.
thing.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like I like that.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but and they should enjoy it while it lasts.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but and you know, our band started out with bad reviews.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
There you
of
go.
course.
Yeah.
And Bruce Pavitt gave us one of our first reviews. It was a terrible review, and he wrote something recently that I thought was pretty wise and pretty smart of him. He said, "Buzz never forgave me for that," and I was
Yeah.
like, "That's exactly right.
Really?
I'm like a fucking elephant. I will never forget that."
Yeah.
You know, that's exactly right.
I had time to get re-stoked on it, I guess.
Okay.
But
Are there any nerves involved with like reviews from Pitchfork or Needle Drop or anything like that? Is there any worry? Like, are you just putting it out for the love of what you guys are doing, or are you?
yeah, I mean, I think they're used. With me, they're used to be. I used to get
Yeah.
really like sort of like nervous about stuff like that. But now it's just like, and now I just kind of don't care.
Yeah.
You know,
Just
like
another day putting it out.
it's one of those things that
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know, the worst thing to do, in my opinion, is to make music like,
Yeah.
with the
Trying to pander to.
yeah,
the
just
reviewer,
try to
blah, blah, blah,
but
Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about Pitchfork. What do you guys think about the power these days that Pitchfork has with the whole Best New Music thing? Do you think it's a good thing for the music industry, giving that one entity, giving that stamp, therefore thousands of people will instantly listen to that music the next day, type of thing?
Yeah, I have no issue with
Yeah.
Pitchfork whatsoever. I think, there's, at any given time there's going to be like some very big entity that is saying like this is what's good.
Yeah.
and Pitchfork happens to do that now, and I'm never gonna like slight anyone for being successful. You know, so
it's an interesting thing with so much power involved in that. I like a couple of those tracks a lot. So good. You guys are no strangers to being reviewed and rated by Pitchfork, and I just want to get your take on the power of Pitchfork and in terms of the massive influence that site now has on whether they give you a best new music or a high rating. What do you think? Is it too much power, or how do you guys feel?
Not over us, really. I mean, there's quite a few like websites that have been really good to us, magazines and stuff like that. But we don't know. I mean, we don't notice a significant change in what we do. I think just touring things started growing from there. But I mean, everyone's attention span is so short.
Yeah.
It's like one day it'll like be on there, and then they'll move on to the next thing.
Yeah. Case in point, I think that those sisters Haim, remember them? They were like flavor of the week for a while there, and now
there's a lot of. I'm curious now because I was never really an avid Pitchfork reader. Like I know it can make or break some bands.
Well,
that's
what I mean.
I feel like I'm curious if they still have the same power they always had. I feel like it's kind of.
Yeah, well, I think
maybe.
Basically, if you get stamped with best new music, thousands of people are going to be listening.
For
to
sure,
music,
I think you're right. Yeah.
So I think like that sort of power with one website saying this is the best, they're choosing essentially what a lot of you guys are going to listen to.
I think the most power I've seen from Pitchfork was when you got that bad behavior.
God, yeah, they were the first one to write.
They were the first, Without his
It's a long story. I had an accident with a bat, and somehow somebody ferreted out the information from my Facebook page, which I keep really private.
Yeah.
And my bat peed in my eye, and it's an old house I used to live in. Long story.
Yeah.
And I wrote this little funny entrance about how, and then the next day I'm getting rabies shots to prevent possible exposure to rabies. And they ran with this story, and it was like front page, guitar player from Torche get bat pees in eye. And so it was just this obnoxious story, and it went there. I mean, it went absolutely nuts. For like 48 hours, I was doing interviews with like MTV and MSN.com and like weird like health club
sites and stuff.
Yeah, friends of mine in the UK like emailing me like, dude, are you okay? So yeah, I think again, I guess I shouldn't underestimate their power.
Yeah. It was perfect timing because our record was just about to get released too, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, a little inside job.
And he didn't die.
Yeah. So in 2011, your album Badlands was rated pretty highly on Pitchfork, and then this year, your new one was distinguished with the Best New Music label and rated just as high, if not higher. How do you feel about the Pitchfork ratings, receiving such a high one, and what does it do for you as an artist?
It's great.
Yeah.
Because anyone who congratulates you on your efforts, especially after like working in the kitchen for 7 years, writing countless albums and EPs.
Yeah.
To sell like 5 copies.
Yeah.
Of your records. It's great that people appreciate that.
Yeah.
However, I never really believe that people should follow one source opinion.
They have a lot of power.
They have a lot of power, so in that way it's sad for bands that it could end. They could easily end my career.
Yeah.
So they gave me a career, but they could also take it away from me. So for me, it's like I never really thought about it. And it's just like that's why I wanted to go back to make a record that was pre-Badlands.
Yeah.
And just like have that spirit of even if I'm washing dishes again and sell 5 copies, I don't care because that's the record I want to make.
Yeah.
That's what I've always done.
Cool, man.
So, yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just had to ask that. It's very interesting all the power Pitchfork has, like make or break people. And lastly, I know you've lived in Vancouver before. Okay, your last 2 LPs have been named Best New Music by Pitchfork, right? Mm-hmm. Another one of your old Vancouver connections has been on the show, Alex from Dirty Beaches, who also had an album named Best New Music. And when he was on, I asked him about the power that Pitchfork holds and any pressure he may feel in recording new music to attain this Best New Music. and with your mini LP and another LP coming out, what do you think about the power that Pitchfork holds, and do you ever feel pressure in making the music, or do you just go with what
I think
says?
that on the second album, on Salad Days, I tried my best to not feel weird about it at all. Like, I'm gonna follow up that other one that did pretty good. Like,
Exactly.
And then I realized halfway through, like, why am I was like sitting there like, oh, wait, one is better than that other one, or else, this one's not gonna be good,
You can go crazy with
Yeah,
the
I was
takes,
going
right?
So it was kind of like, eventually I was just kind of like, wow, why do I care, And then eventually I had it all together, put it out, and was like, whatever, that's fine. Turns out people liked it, so, that was lucky. But yeah, I think that, Pitchfork, it has a lot of, as far as like if they stand through with the best in music or something, it's going to be like,
golden.
Immediately you're like, oh, we're playing big shows now, and the tours are crazy, and like all these kids like it. But yeah, I don't know. I think I have like a lot of ideologies about music or whatever, especially now the kids that come up to me and they're like, yo, how do I get signed? Like, how do I get, how do I get on Pitchfork? It's like, dude, don't do this if that's what you want. Like, it's, it's the most unimportant part about making music, so.
Yeah,
so
it's got to come from within.
Yeah, it's just kind of, you got to remember that.
Yeah.
And it'll be okay.
Do what you think is the best, right? And then hopefully good things will happen, right? Okay, here's an interesting question that I've come up with, I think. You moved to Vancouver right out of high school from Edmonton. You were making music in a